Okay, so what if I told you that every single night there's this incredible maintenance routine happening inside your head? We're going to dive into how your brain literally takes out the trash while you sleep. I mean, that sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Your brain literally washes itself. But here's the thing, this is not a metaphor. We are talking about a real physical cleaning process. Your brain isn't just powering down, it's actively getting to work. And think about what happens if you skip a night. Just like letting the garbage pile up in your kitchen, the consequences are not great. You see, every hour you're awake, your brain is generating all this metabolic waste. And without that nightly cleaning cycle, all that junk just sits there, piling up. So the immediate question is, how is that even possible? I mean, the brain is this incredibly dense organ, packed with billions and billions of neurons. Where on earth would there be room for some kind of plumbing system to flush everything out? And you know what? For a long time, scientists were asking that exact same question.
Let's be perfectly clear. This isn't some clever analogy we're using. It is a real biological process. And the discovery of it is actually pretty recent. It's completely flipped our understanding of what sleep is even for. It's not just about resting your body or saving memories. It is fundamental physical housekeeping.
All right, and here is the star of the show. It's called the glymphatic system. The easiest way to think about it is it's the brain's dedicated cleaning service. It's the super efficient nighttime-only crew that uses cerebrospinal fluid to rinse away all the toxic gunk that's built up while you are awake. And how it works is just, wow, it's so incredibly elegant. So here's the breakdown. First, you have to fall into a deep sleep. That's step one. Then, and this is the wild part, your brain cells actually shrink. Yeah, they can shrink by up to 60%. This creates all this new space, which is step three, allowing that cleaning fluid to flow through. And finally, that fluid just flushes out all the toxins and mental junk. It's amazing. This comparison really shows you what's going on. So, when you're awake, your brain cells are their normal kind of plumped up size, so there's not much room for fluid to get through. But look at the sleeping brain. The cells have shrunk down, and it's like the floodgates have just opened. The whole system becomes about 10 times more active. We're talking a real deep clean. Okay, so this brings us to the really critical part, the stakes. What happens when this system fails? Because this isn't just some cool, nice-to-have feature. It is absolutely essential. So what happens when it doesn't get to do its job, night after night? Well, the buildup of all that waste is directly linked to some pretty serious problems. In the short term, you get things like memory loss, poor focus, that awful brain fog. But long term, that's where it gets really scary. This same gunk buildup is a hallmark of really serious long-term brain diseases. I mean, you've felt this before, right? That foggy feeling after a really bad night of sleep. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that heavy, groggy feeling where it feels like your thoughts are just moving through sludge. You're just trying to get through the day, but you can't focus, you can't think clearly. Well, here's what you need to remember. That's not you being lazy. That is a symptom of an unclean brain. It's not a character flaw, it's not a lack of willpower, it is a direct physiological sign that your brain is literally clogged with waste that didn't get cleared out. It's a physical state. But here's the good news in all of this. You have a ton of control. So how can you activate your brain's cleaning crew? Well, you can take direct steps starting tonight to make sure this vital system runs at peak performance. Let's get into it. The absolute number one thing is you have to protect your deep sleep. That's when all the magic happens. And it's the simple habits that make a huge difference. Keeping your room as dark as possible, trying to maintain a consistent sleep schedule, yeah, even on the weekends, and of course, reducing that screen time before bed. You're basically sending a signal to your brain that says, okay, it's time to start the cleaning cycle. So, the big takeaway here is that we have to totally reframe how we look at sleep. It isn't just passive rest, it isn't a luxury, it is an active, critical period of maintenance that is essential for your brain's health. So as you get ready for bed tonight, I want you to ask yourself that question. Will you treat your sleep as just passive rest or as the essential maintenance your brain requires to do its job? It's really something to think about.